The stars had turned their backs on humanity. Centuries ago, humans were banned from the Galactic Union, a council of thousands of alien civilizations spread across the Milky Way. The reason was simple: humans were considered too dangerous. Their emotions, their ambition, their unpredictable nature, everything about them terrified the calm and ancient species who ruled the stars. So they exiled Earth, cut it off from all galactic trade, travel, and technology. To the rest of the galaxy, humans were a story of warning. Never trust the Terrans, they said. They burn everything they touch. But the galaxy forgot one thing about humans: they never stay down forever. 300 years passed. The galaxy moved on. Humanity was erased from records, their systems marked as quarantined space. But deep inside the forgotten corner of the Orion Arm, humans survived. They rebuilt from the ashes of their broken world, and they learned. No help. No allies. Just willpower. And when they returned, the stars trembled again. It began quietly. An alien freighter from the Vok Council was traveling near the edge of forbidden human space. The ship's scanners caught something, a faint signal. It shouldn't have been there. It was a human distress beacon, using ancient Terran frequencies that no one had heard in centuries. The crew hesitated, unsure. It must be a ghost signal, their captain said. No humans remained there. But when they approached, something massive appeared on their radar, a ship so big it blotted out their sensors. The alien captain froze. "That can't be possible," he whispered. The human ship didn't respond to any hails. It just appeared, silent, black, and ancient-looking. And then, with one message, it broke the silence of 300 years. Humanity has returned. The Vok ship tried to flee, but before it could even jump, its systems went dark. The human vessel didn't attack. It just scanned them, and then vanished. When the Vok reported it to the Galactic Union, no one believed them. "A Terran ghost story," they laughed. "Humans are extinct." But soon, more reports came. Outposts along the border vanished. Patrol fleets disappeared. Cargo convoys went missing. And on every wrecked ship, the same words were found, burned into the hull with laser precision. "We remember." Panic spread across the galaxy. The Council held an emergency meeting, the first in centuries. The alien representatives shouted over each other. The humans were destroyed. They couldn't have survived that long. What if it's someone pretending to be them? Only one elder, an ancient Thalare from the First Galactic War, spoke calmly. "You fools," he said, his voice trembling. "You forget who they were. They are not pretending. The Terrans are back." Meanwhile, far from the chaos, a single human ship drifted in deep space. Its name was Erebus. Inside, Captain Mira Kane stood before a holographic map of the galaxy. Dozens of red dots marked old human colonies, everyone wiped out by alien bombardment centuries ago. Her voice was cold. "They called us monsters," she said. "They left us to die. Now they'll see what monsters truly look like." Her crew, men and women hardened by generations of isolation, nodded silently. Each of them carried the pain of exile in their blood. They weren't explorers anymore. They were the descendants of survivors. "Operation Homecoming begins," Mira ordered. The stars outside the Erebus burned brighter as the ship jumped to faster-than-light speed. Humanity's return had begun. Far away, the Galactic Union tried to prepare. Fleets mobilized. Warnings spread. But the aliens didn't understand what they were facing. They had forgotten the human way: to adapt, to fight, to never surrender. The first battle came at the rim station of Kel 9. The alien commander laughed when his sensors detected a single Terran ship. "One ship? Against my fleet?" he mocked. Minutes later, his fleet was gone. The Erebus didn't use brute force. It used intelligence. Human AIs, long banned by the galaxy, hacked into the alien systems, turning their own weapons against them. When the smoke cleared, The message came again across every open channel. We remember your exile. We remember your fear. Now, remember us. Across the galaxy, fear spread like wildfire. Some alien species tried to hide their involvement from the past. Others begged for peace. But humanity didn't answer. They moved in silence, striking only those who once signed the exile decree. On the galactic capital world of Serath Prime, the High Council finally admitted the truth. A single sentence echoed in their chamber. Humanity was never destroyed. We only gave them time to evolve. No one slept that night. Every empire, every fleet, every ruler stared into the stars, waiting for the next Terran signal. Because somewhere out there, in the dark void of space, the humans were coming home. And this time, no one could stop them. The Galactic Union was in chaos. For the first time in centuries, every major species gathered in the council hall of Serath Prime. The enormous chamber floated above the planet's surface, a ring of light orbiting a world of oceans and cities. Usually calm and filled with diplomacy, today it shook with fear. Dozens of alien ambassadors argued, their voices echoing through the dome. Holographic screens flashed images of destroyed fleets, vanished stations, and the same terrifying words left behind. We remember. The council leader, a tall silver-scaled being named Xylan, raised his voice. We need proof. Are these truly humans? Or is someone trying to frighten us? General Varric, commander of the Serath Defense Fleet, slammed his metal fist on the table. I saw the recordings myself. Their ships are unlike anything we know. Small, dark, and invisible to radar. They strike without warning and vanish before our sensors react. Who else could do this but humans? But they were primitive, shouted another ambassador. 3 centuries ago, they barely had faster-than-light travel. Varric's red eyes glowed. 3 centuries is enough time for humans to turn nightmares into reality. The room went silent. Far across the galaxy, deep within a nebula, the Erebus floated in silence. Its hull shimmered black, almost invisible against the stars. Inside, Captain Mira Kane studied the holographic projection of the galaxy again. Half the alien border systems were already marked in red. Commander Ruiz entered the command deck. Council fleets are moving. They've sent scouts into our territory. Mira didn't look up. Let them. They'll find nothing but ghosts. Ruiz hesitated. Captain, what if they actually try to talk? Some of them weren't even alive when Earth was exiled. Mira turned toward him. Her eyes were calm but cold. And yet, they live in the world their ancestors built, a world that erased us. Tell me, Commander, when they bombed New London, did anyone try to talk? Ruiz lowered his head. There was nothing to say. Prepare the fleet, Mira ordered. Phase 2 begins tonight. On the other side of the galaxy, a small alien research team approached the edge of human space, a place once called Sol. The mission was simple: find proof of human life. Dr. Kelra, a scientist from the gentle Miran species, led the team. No one has entered this system in over 200 years, she whispered as their ship dropped out of hyperspace. Before them floated the ruins of a world. Earth. Broken, scarred, but still beautiful. Look at that, Kelra murmured. Even after everything, their home still stands. Her assistant, a young technician, pointed at the sensors. Doctor, we're detecting energy signatures on the moon. Strong ones. Kelra frowned. Impossible. That moon was dead centuries ago. They moved closer. Craters and dust covered the surface, but something glowed beneath. Metal doors. Towers. Light. And then, the entire lunar surface shifted. What they thought was a dead moon revealed itself as a base. A colossal human installation awakened from centuries of silence. Every console on Kelra's ship went dark. The communication channels filled with static. Then a voice came through, cold, human, and clear. Unidentified vessel. You have entered Terran space. Leave now. Kelra trembled. This is a historic moment. Tell them we come in peace. Her assistant tried to respond, but before he could, their ship was surrounded by dozens of dark human fighters, black triangles with glowing blue cores. The same voice returned. You were warned. Moments later, the alien ship was gone. Only the stars remained. Back at the council, panic spread as Kelra's last transmission was received, a broken message and one haunting phrase, "The humans are awake." Xylan gripped the edge of the table. This is no longer rumor. This is war. General Varric nodded. Then we must strike first. But another voice, old and rough, rose from the shadows of the room. It was Elder Thalare, the one who remembered the humans. Strike first, he said slowly. That's what we did last time. And look where it brought us. The council fell silent. Thalare leaned forward, his ancient eyes glowing dimly. You cannot fight them with ships or weapons. Humans fight with something the galaxy never understood. Will. If you corner them, they will burn the stars to survive. No one answered. Because deep down, they all knew he was right. Meanwhile, Captain Mira stood before her crew aboard the Erebus. Our enemies are moving, she said. They think we want revenge. They think we came to destroy them. But we came for something greater. She paused, looking at the faces of her people, descendants of those who once cried under alien fire. We came to reclaim our place in the stars. Her words echoed through the ship. Let them come, Mira said quietly. Let every empire in the galaxy see what they created when they tried to erase us. Outside, the Erebus powered up, its engines glowing blue as it vanished into hyperspace. In the void behind it, 3 words remained on the comms channel, repeating like a warning to the universe. Humanity remembers everything. The galaxy had never seen fear spread this fast. Every news channel across the Union repeated the same message, human fleets sighted near the Midway systems. Outposts were being wiped out without warning. Entire sectors went silent. And the words, "We remember," appeared like a curse across every wreckage. Now, the Galactic Union had no choice. They declared war. A massive fleet, over 10,000 ships, gathered near the border of human space. Battleships, carriers, drones, and alien warlords from 100 different species formed a line of fire stretching across the stars. They called it Operation Cleansing Dawn, the mission to destroy humanity before it grew stronger. General Varric commanded the fleet from his flagship, the Honor of Sereth. He stood before a holographic map showing their target, a system marked as New Terra. Intelligence reports say this is their new capital, Varric growled. We strike fast and erase them before they multiply. The other commanders nodded, though fear flickered behind their eyes. No one had seen a human yet, not clearly. No one understood how they were doing this, destroying fleets without showing themselves. Begin the advance, Varric ordered. In the dark edge of that same system, the Erebus drifted silently among the asteroids. Inside, Captain Mira watched as hundreds of alien war signatures appeared on her scanners. They're coming, said Commander Ruiz quietly. Mira smiled faintly. Good. Let them see. Captain, their numbers are overwhelming, another officer warned. We have only 20 ships. 20 against thousands. Myra's tone stayed calm. Numbers mean nothing if they don't understand the battlefield. She turned toward her AI officer, a sleek humanoid machine named Iris. Begin Shadow Protocol. The lights dimmed. Across the fleet, every human ship vanished from sensors, cloaked by technology the galaxy had never seen before. Old alien records called it impossible. Humans called it necessary. Minutes later, the alien armada reached the system. The planet New Terra rotated peacefully below. Green oceans, silver cities, clouds of white. Varric grinned. They rebuilt faster than I expected. He raised his clawed hand. All ships, prepare orbital bombardment. The fleet aligned, charging their plasma cannons. A storm of energy gathered, enough to burn an entire planet. And then, the sky went dark. One by one, alien ships began losing power. Lights flickered, engines died, communication cut. In less than a minute, half the fleet drifted dead in space. "What is happening?" Varrock roared. A voice echoed through every ship's comm system, cold, human, and calm. "This is Captain Mira Kane of the Terran fleet. You stand above human soil. You came here to destroy us. Now, you will learn fear." The darkness around them came alive. Human ships uncloaked, moving like shadows between the stars, small, sleek, and silent. They didn't fire first. They disabled their enemies, hacking into systems, turning alien drones against their own fleets. Explosions lit up the blackness. The aliens tried to regroup, but their targeting systems refused to lock on. Human AIs jammed every frequency. Even navigation failed. "This is madness," one alien captain screamed. "They're inside our systems." Varrock bared his teeth. "Retreat. Regroup outside the system." But before he could issue the full command, his radar filled with hundreds of new signals. The Erebus appeared, massive, black, wings folded like a beast rising from the dark. Its engines glowed blue as its main weapon charged. Myra's voice returned. "We begged for peace once. You gave us silence. Now, we return the favor." A single beam of light cut through space, slicing an entire enemy battleship in half. The shockwave shattered nearby cruisers. The explosion was so bright, even distant moons reflected its light. Within minutes, the mighty alien armada was reduced to wreckage. The survivors fled into hyperspace, their sensors still jammed, their systems corrupted. And then, as silence returned, Myra's fleet reappeared, untouched. Commander Ruiz turned to her. "We could have destroyed them all. Why let them go?" Mira looked out at the stars. "Because fear spreads faster than war. Let them carry our message." Across the galaxy, chaos erupted again. The survivors of Operation Cleansing Dawn returned, broken and terrified. They told stories of human ships appearing out of nothing, of AIs that spoke inside their minds, of a captain who looked into the camera and said, "We are your reflection, what you could have been if you hadn't feared us." The Galactic Union fell into panic. Trade routes closed. Empires accused each other of betrayal. Some species even left the Union, hoping to hide before humanity reached them. Elder Thalare, the oldest among them, sat quietly in his dark chamber, watching the footage of the battle. He whispered, "I told them. You cannot bury humanity. You can only delay their return." Meanwhile, on Erebus, Mira stood on the bridge, watching the burning remains of the alien fleet fade away. Ruiz approached her. "Phase 3. Mira nodded. "We send the message to every corner of the galaxy." Ruiz frowned. "You mean, the broadcast?" "Yes," she said. "Let them all see. Let them remember who they tried to erase." Iris, the AI, activated the transmission. Across thousands of alien worlds, holographic screens suddenly flickered to life. Every being, from the lowest worker to the highest emperor, saw the same image. Captain Mira Kane standing in front of a Terran flag. Her words were simple. "3 centuries ago, you banned us from the stars. You feared our will, our fire, our strength. You were right to fear us. Because now, humanity has returned." The signal ended. And in that moment, the galaxy realized, this was not revenge. It was a reckoning. The galaxy was breaking apart. After the fall of Operation Cleansing Dawn, fear consumed every corner of the Galactic Union. Empires that once ruled for thousands of years began turning against each other. Trade routes shut down, fleets hid behind their borders, and whispers spread faster than light. "The humans are coming." On Sereth Prime, the Grand Council tried to maintain control. But their once proud hall, glowing with blue light, now echoed with arguments and panic. Ambassadors accused each other of betrayal. Armies refused orders. Council leader Xylan shouted above the chaos. Enough! If we keep fighting each other, the humans won't need to destroy us, we'll do it ourselves. But no one listened. Across the table, General Varric sat silent. His once polished armor was scorched from the last battle. He had seen the Terran fleet with his own eyes, seen ships that moved like ghosts, AIs that predicted his every move. He didn't speak because deep down, he knew the truth. They couldn't win. Finally, Xylan slammed his hand down. We need to talk to them, he said. We must open a channel before it's too late. Gasps filled the chamber. You want to negotiate with monsters? One alien spat. They destroyed thousands of our ships. Xylan glared back. And how many of theirs did we destroy? None. They gave us mercy, something we never gave them. If they wanted extermination, we'd all be dead already. For a long time, no one spoke. Then, from the shadows, Elder Thalare stood. His ancient skin shimmered faintly in the light. He is right, the elder said. We cannot defeat them. But maybe, if we show them we have changed, they may spare what remains of us. Varric's jaw tightened. You think they will forgive us? Thalare looked at him sadly. No. But they might stop if they believe the galaxy learned its lesson. And so, the Council made a desperate decision, to send a secret envoy into human space. Far from the Council, in the silence of the void, the Erebus hovered over a dying star. Inside, Captain Mira Kane watched as her AI, Iris, displayed intercepted transmissions. The Union is falling apart, Iris reported. Several empires have withdrawn their fleets. One system even declared loyalty to the Terran cause. Mira raised an eyebrow. Loyalty? To us? Yes, Iris said. They call it the doctrine of survival. They believe that surrendering to humanity is the only way to live. Mira smiled faintly. Interesting. Commander Ruiz entered the deck. Captain, we've detected a small ship crossing into Terran space. It's broadcasting the old galactic code for peace. Mira turned toward him. Peace? After 300 years of silence. Ruiz nodded. They're requesting a meeting. Mira thought for a long moment. Bring them in. But keep weapons armed. Hours later, the alien envoy ship approached. Small, unarmed, and glowing with white lights, a symbol of surrender. Inside were three beings, Elder Thalare, Council Leader Xylan, and General Varric. As they entered the Terran docking bay, the silence was crushing. Every human soldier they passed wore black armor marked with a silver insignia, the Phoenix of Earth. Their eyes were cold, but not cruel. Finally, the three aliens were brought to the command deck of the Erebus. The air felt heavy, filled with human presence, something alive, burning, and unshakable. Captain Mira Kane stood waiting for them. She was taller than they expected, her uniform simple but commanding. Her gaze met theirs like a blade. So, she said quietly, the same galaxy that cast us out now wants to talk. Xylan bowed slightly. Captain Kane, humanity has proven its strength. We only seek understanding. Myra's expression didn't change. Understanding? 3 centuries ago, your fleets bombed our cities. You turned Earth into ashes. You called us a danger to peace. Varric clenched his claws. We feared you. You were unpredictable, unstoppable. And you were wrong, Mira said. We were human. The room fell silent. Thalare stepped forward. His voice was calm, tired. Perhaps we were wrong. Perhaps the galaxy was blind. But Captain, if you continue this war, everything will burn. You will inherit only ashes. Mira studied him for a long time. There was no anger in her eyes now, only a deep sadness. You speak of ashes, she said softly. But you forget, we already came from them. For a long time, no one spoke. Then Mira turned toward the stars beyond the window. You want peace, she said finally. Then prove it. Dismantle your fleets around human space. End the quarantine laws. Remove the word forbidden from every map that marks our home. Do this, and maybe we'll talk. Xylan hesitated. And if we refuse? Mira turned back to him. Then humanity will finish what you started. The aliens returned to their ship, shaken. None of them spoke during the flight back. Varrock finally broke the silence. She wasn't bluffing, he muttered. They would fight the whole galaxy if they had to. Thalar nodded. Yes, and they would win. As the ship vanished into hyperspace, Thalar looked out at the stars. We created our own judgment, he whispered. And now it stands before us. On the Erebus, Mira watched their departure. Commander Ruiz approached. You think they'll keep their promise? He asked. Myra's voice was quiet. No. But now, the galaxy knows the truth. We're not the monsters they painted us as. We're survivors. Ruiz smiled faintly. So what's next, Captain? Mira turned toward the dark horizon of space. Next, she said, we show them what humanity truly stands for. Outside, the Erebus powered its engines again, vanishing into the black, carrying the message of a species that refused to die. And somewhere, deep in the galactic dark, every empire listened to that silent truth. The humans were no longer exiled. They were home. 3 weeks had passed since the meeting aboard the Erebus. The galaxy was silent, too silent. No battles. No transmissions. Just waiting. In the great halls of the Galactic Union, the air was heavy with uncertainty. Council leader Xylan stood before the assembly, his voice calm but his eyes tired. The humans gave us a chance, he said. We have one final opportunity to avoid total war. We must begin disarmament around their space. But his words were met with anger. Ambassadors shouted. Generals roared. You want us to kneel before the species that destroyed our fleets, one screamed. They should be the ones begging. Others whispered in fear. If we provoke them again, they'll erase us. And among those voices, one man remained quiet, General Varrock. He had seen the Erebus up close, seen Mira Kane's eyes. He knew the truth better than anyone. But fear and pride blinded the others. At last, a new voice rose, sharp and filled with arrogance. It belonged to Admiral Krell of the Vok Dominion, the same species whose freighter had first found the human signal. Council leader, Krell said coldly, we have waited long enough. You may choose diplomacy, but the Dominion chooses strength. Humanity's technology, their cloaking, their AIs, must be ours. We cannot let them rule through fear. Xylan glared. You're suggesting we attack them again? Krell smirked. Not openly. We strike in secret. Capture one of their ships. Learn their power. Then we will control them. Gasps filled the chamber. Even Varrock stood. That's suicide, he growled. They'll see it as war. But Krell only laughed. War? No. Just a small incident. They'll never trace it back to us. Xylan's voice turned icy. If you do this, you'll doom us all. Krell bowed mockingly. Then let history remember me as the one who didn't crawl. And with that, the Vok Dominion left the council, breaking centuries of alliance. Days later, deep in the silent corridors of human space, a Vok stealth cruiser moved through the dark. Cloaked, silent, and deadly, it drifted toward a single human patrol ship named Falcon 7. Inside, Vok soldiers whispered to each other. We take it fast, one said. No survivors. Just data. Their commander smiled. For the glory of the Dominion. They fired grappling beams, invisible to sensors, and latched onto Falcon 7. Within seconds, they boarded. But what they found inside wasn't panic. It was silence. The halls were empty. The lights were dim. Not a single human. Where are they? one alien hissed. Then a voice echoed through the ship's comms, soft, mechanical, and calm. Unauthorized boarding detected. The aliens froze. Who said that? The voice repeated, colder this time. You should not have come. One by one, the ship's doors sealed shut. The Vox soldiers tried to escape, but the air vents closed, lights turned red, and the temperature dropped fast. Their armor frosted over. Inside their helmets, they heard the last words before everything went dark. Humanity remembers. 2 hours later, the wreck of the Vox cruiser drifted near a Terran listening post. The human patrols found it completely frozen, with no survivors. Captain Mira Kane watched the report with a blank expression. So they tried, she said softly. Commander Ruiz frowned. Do we respond? Mira nodded slowly. Not yet. Let them think we didn't notice. Let their guilt eat them alive. Ruiz tilted his head. You think they'll confess? Mira smiled faintly. No. But someone else will. Back on Sereth Prime, panic erupted when the Vox ship's destruction became public. Admiral Krell denied involvement, of course, claiming unknown pirates had done it. But Myra's next move shattered that lie completely. Every major galactic news network suddenly broadcast a message, a video showing the captured audio from the Vox boarding attempt. The voice of their commander, the weapon's fire, the screams, and then, silence. At the end of the video, Mira Kane appeared, calm, expressionless. We warned you, she said. Humanity will not attack first. But if you cross our borders again, there will be no second warning. The message spread like wildfire. The entire galaxy watched in silence. The Vox Dominion tried to deny it, but their people revolted, demanding peace before the humans retaliated. Within days, their government collapsed. In the quiet aftermath, Council leader Xylan called another meeting. He looked at Varrock. One species challenged them. Now they're gone. The message is clear. Varrock nodded slowly. They don't need an army. Their will is their weapon. Thalare, the ancient elder, closed his eyes. The humans have become what the galaxy always feared, united, disciplined, patient. Xylan turned to the others. If we wish to survive, we must change. No more lies. No more pride. We rebuild a new union, one that includes humanity. The room fell silent. No one dared argue. Meanwhile, far away, aboard the Erebus, Mira stood before her crew. The Vox acted out of fear, she said quietly. The same fear that once destroyed Earth. But this time, we didn't answer with hate. We answered with strength. Commander Ruiz nodded. And now? Mira looked out the viewport at the endless stars. Now, she said, the galaxy begins to understand what humanity truly is. Not monsters, not victims, but balance. Her words echoed softly across the bridge. Let them watch. Let them learn. The age of exile is over. Outside, the Erebus turned toward a new sunrise, a human sunrise, burning brighter than ever before. And across the galaxy, every empire finally understood. You can ban humanity from the stars. But you can never ban their will to rise again. The galaxy thought peace had finally come. After the fall of the Vox Dominion, no one dared challenge humanity again. Fleets retreated. Borders opened. The Galactic Union slowly began rebuilding, this time with humans invited, not as outcasts, but as equals. For the first time in 300 years, the stars were quiet. But in the dark regions beyond known space, something ancient had begun to stir. Deep inside a forgotten cluster, far from any mapped route, a black planet floated near a dying star. For billions of years, it had been silent, a graveyard of machines, built by a civilization older than the galaxy itself. But now, the machines were waking. Massive towers powered up. Symbols older than time glowed red across the planet's crust. And in the center, buried deep beneath the surface, a giant consciousness opened its eyes for the first time in 10 million years. It remembered the last Great War, the one that almost ended life in the galaxy. It remembered the reason it slept, to wait, to watch, until a new threat appeared. And now, it had detected something familiar. Something dangerous. Humanity. The ancient AI known as Solith Prime sent a signal across the void. Thousands of dormant machines responded, rising from the dust. The stars above the black world began to flicker, not with light, but with movement. Fleets of automated warships awakened and turned toward the galactic core. The old enemy had returned. Back on the Erebus, Captain Mira Kane stood before a wide display, watching a strange pattern of energy readings. Commander Ruiz frowned. Those signals, they're not from any known civilization. AI Iris analyzed the data. Origin, unknown region, coordinates outside any current chart. Power output suggests technology far beyond galactic standards. Mira crossed her arms. How far beyond? Thousands of years, Iris replied. Silence filled the bridge. Humanity had seen alien fleets, monstrous weapons, and impossible machines, but nothing like this. Ruiz spoke softly. Could it be them? The ones the old myths spoke of, the builders? Mira nodded. If it is, then we may not be the biggest threat anymore. At the Galactic Council, chaos returned once again. The footage of entire border systems going dark appeared on every screen. The unknown ships did not respond to communication. They did not negotiate. They simply erased whatever they found. Xylan addressed the council. This is no human attack. Our sensors confirm, these ships are ancient. Older than all of us. Ambassadors whispered in terror. What do they want? Elder Thalare spoke quietly. They want balance. When one species rises too far, they erase it. They did it before. They will do it again. Xylan looked grim. Then humanity's return woke them. Yes, Thalare said. And now, they come for us all. The Erebus arrived at the edge of the dying cluster, where stars pulsed like hearts and space felt heavy. Human scouts had vanished here. Not destroyed, simply gone. Mira ordered a full scan. I want everything, energy readings, gravity distortions, life signs. As they searched, the void ahead shimmered. Dozens of enormous structures emerged, silent black monoliths the size of moons. Between them drifted ships made of dark metal, moving with unnatural precision. Iris spoke. Contact established. Incoming transmission. The voice that followed was not human or alien. It was ancient, deep, calm, and emotionless. We are the architects. You have broken the balance. Humanity must return to silence. Mira stared at the comm screen. And who decides that balance? We do, the voice replied. We ended your kind once before. You were not meant to return. The crew froze. Myra's voice stayed steady. You made a mistake then, and you'll make one again. The transmission ended. Moments later, space erupted with light. The first architect ship fired, a beam brighter than a sun. The Erebus barely dodged. Shields flared. Systems screamed. Evasive maneuvers. Ruiz shouted. Iris, return fire. Mira ordered. The Erebus launched everything. Plasma rounds, missiles, EMP bursts, but the architect ship didn't even slow down. Its armor absorbed every hit. This isn't a warship, Iris said in shock. It's a machine built for extinction. The humans were outmatched. But Mira wasn't done. Retreat? Ruiz asked. She shook her head. No. If they want to erase humanity, they'll have to see what we've become. She activated the command no one had used before, Protocol Helios. From across Terran space, hidden fleets awakened. Human warships, black and silent, rose from asteroids and moons, thousands of them. Each ship connected to the Erebus through a quantum link. Myra's voice echoed through every comm. They think we're the same species they buried. Let's show them how wrong they are. The human fleet jumped forward. Hundreds of beams fired in perfect synchronization, cutting through the void. The architect ship's shields flickered, once, twice, then cracked. It roared in mechanical fury, sending shockwaves that shattered nearby asteroids, but humanity didn't stop. The Erebus charged its main cannon. Mira whispered, "For Earth." The blast hit. A star was born in that moment, a burning white explosion that erased the architect vessel from existence. When the light faded, only silence remained. Later, as the human fleet regrouped, Iris spoke quietly. "One ship destroyed. But scans detect thousands more awakening." Mira didn't flinch. "Then this isn't a war for revenge anymore. It's survival, for every race in this galaxy." Ruiz nodded slowly. "Even for those who once exiled us." Mira looked at him. "Yes. Because that's what makes us human." Outside, the black of space shimmered again. Far beyond sight, the architects were coming. And this time, humanity wouldn't be alone. For the first time in galactic history, every species would have to fight side by side, led by the very people they once tried to destroy. The final war had begun. The galaxy had never seen unity like this before. Humans, once exiled, hated, erased from history, now stood at the center of a vast alliance. Around them gathered fleets from every world, the crystalline ships of the Xylan, the living bioships of the Trillari, and the plasma carriers of the Drex Empire. Billions watched from their home worlds as the new galactic defense armada prepared for the battle that would decide the fate of everything alive. At the heart of the armada floated the Erebus, still scarred from its last fight, now serving as command ship for the entire coalition. Captain Mira Kane stood on the bridge, her hands resting on the console, staring at the dark region of space ahead. That was where the architects waited. "Status?" she asked quietly. Commander Ruiz looked up from his screen. "All fleets in position. Human squadrons are on the front line, just how you ordered." Iris, the ship's AI, spoke in her calm voice. "Enemy movement detected. Thousands of signatures approaching at light speed. Estimated time to contact, 7 minutes." The bridge fell silent. Every species, every commander, all of them looked to Mira for the next word. She took a slow breath. "For 300 years, they called us monsters. They banned us, erased us, feared us. But they never understood why we fought so hard, not for power, not for domination, but for survival." Her voice echoed through the entire fleet. "Now the architects come to erase all life. So we will fight, not as humans, not as aliens, but as the galaxy." Every comm channel lit up with cheers, roars, and battle cries. The final war had begun. Moments later, the void came alive. The architect fleet arrived, black ships stretching farther than sight. Each one was a floating fortress, powered by cores older than stars. Their weapons glowed like dying suns. Their formation moved like a single mind. Then, without warning, they opened fire. Beams of white energy tore through the darkness. The front line of the Allied fleet vanished in seconds. Dozens of human ships exploded, but not before returning fire. Massive plasma cannons from Terran destroyers and Xylan energy lances cut into the first wave of architect drones, breaking their perfect formation. The sky burned. "Reinforce Sector 9." Mira shouted. Ruiz replied, "Trillari ships are down. The bioforms can't hold against that much radiation." Iris, deploy the solar barrier. A massive golden field erupted from the Erebus, shielding thousands of Allied ships. The field pulsed like a living star, blocking the next barrage. The humans had hidden this technology for decades, a shield powered by miniaturized black holes, developed in secret during their exile. Now, it became the galaxy's last defense. As the fleets clashed, Myra's screen flickered. An encrypted signal came through, from deep inside enemy space. Iris translated. "It's coming from a human probe. It found something under the Architect Command world." "What is it?" Mira asked. A control core, a single AI node controlling the entire network. If we destroy it, the rest will fall. Ruiz's eyes widened. It's suicide going there. The core is in the middle of their fleet. Myra's voice turned cold. That's why we're going. The Erebus broke formation. Escort ships followed, covering its advance. Dozens were destroyed in seconds, but the flagship pressed on, weaving through the wreckage of dying stars and burning ships. The Architect capital vessel loomed ahead, a structure larger than moons, glowing with endless energy. Its hull shifted like liquid metal, opening massive weapon ports that charged to fire. Iris spoke. All power to engines. We have one chance. The Erebus dove straight into the storm. Explosions followed them like a trail of fire. The ship shook violently. Systems screamed. Ruiz shouted, "Shields at 5%. Mira gripped the command bar. "Open the Helios drive." "What? That's unstable," Ruiz warned. "I know," she said. "That's the point." The Helios drive, humanity's forbidden weapon, was a miniature sun, built to collapse into a black hole upon ignition. No one had ever dared use it. Until now. The Erebus pierced the heart of the Architect ship. Alarms blared across every deck. Iris's voice softened. "Once the drive activates, there will be no escape." Mira smiled faintly. "You've been with me since the beginning, Iris. Let's finish this together." Iris paused. "It has been an honor, Captain." Ruiz saluted silently. Mira placed her hand on the final switch. "For Earth. For everyone." She activated the drive. A brilliant light swallowed the darkness. The Architect core screamed, a sound that echoed across every star. And then, silence. When the light faded, the Erebus was gone. So was the Architect fleet. The black planet at the center of their empire crumbled into dust. Across the galaxy, every Architect ship froze, then disintegrated. Their systems collapsed. The war ended in an instant. Humanity had done the impossible. Again. Weeks later, the Galactic Council held a memorial. Across 1,000 worlds, people looked up at their skies and saw new constellations, one shaped like the Terran symbol for unity. Xylan spoke to the gathering. "Once, we feared them. But when the stars themselves turned against us, it was humanity who stood between life and extinction." He raised a crystal hand. "From this day forward, the galaxy will never again ban humanity. Instead, we will remember them as what they truly were, protectors of existence." Years later, in a quiet system near a small yellow star, a new human colony began to rise. Children played under blue skies, their laughter echoing through the valleys. Above them, orbiting the world they now called New Earth, a satellite blinked once, its AI core awakening softly. "Iris online," it said. And in its memory banks, a voice was recorded, Myra's final words. "No species deserves extinction. Not while humans still breathe." The galaxy would remember her. The galaxy would remember them all. Because humanity, once banned, had become something greater than feared. They became legend.